Is Atreus the Darth Vader of God of War Ragnarok? Let's get into it. All right, let's get into Atreus. We met Atreus in God of War 2018. He was a little boy, okay? We knew him as Boy for the longest time. Boy. It was funny as hell. But Atreus is not a boy no more, okay? He's earned the respect of his father. As the players, we assume that based on the events of God of War 2018, Kratos has developed a certain level of respect for his son as a warrior, based upon his performance, I guess, in this first game in this series. Kratos, you notice, he doesn't call him boy anymore, and that's big for this game, because there were memes out there for, Kratos calling him boy, people calling each other boy. It's hysterical. But you notice that doesn't happen anymore. That word is not even really used in this game. That identifies Kratos as having a certain level of respect for his son, which is big coming from Kratos because he's a hot ass through and through. So Atreus' motivations. Atreus, I would consider to be a dynamic character because in the first game, he's focused on the journey of launching his mother's ashes from the highest peak in the realms, and that's what his sole focus was. And now in this game, he is focused on finding out who he really is, who Loki really is, and he's trying to find the meaning of his life, so to speak. Really, this story is just as much about Atreus as it is Kratos. That's the impression I get right in the beginning, because the journey that they're going on, or the path as they call it, is finding out who Atreus really is, who Loki really is. And that's what Atreus is focused on. Now, we know Atreus could be a little angry, just like Daddy. And now he's developing these newfound powers that we don't really know about. Like, he walks up to things, he touches them, and things light up when he's around them. He has his bow, he shoots his little arrows. Like, the kid has some kind of power. We don't know what it's about yet, but him being angry the way he is dangerous for him. That's how Kratos feels. Once he masters his powers, then it's a different story. But for right now, Atreus' anger might get him in some kind of trouble because he doesn't understand his own power yet. And that's what Kratos is worried about. Okay? So you have Atreus focusing on who he is in this game, making him a dynamic character. His internal conflicts, let's talk about that for a minute. He disobeys his father. And, I mean, you better think twice before disobeying a guy like Kratos, okay? This guy's nuts. But he disobeys his father. And he knows he does it, and he chooses to do that. And that is an inner conflict he has within himself, because he wants to find out who he is, and he doesn't care about what his father thinks in that respect. He needs to find out who he is. That's what his calling is. What is his connection to the giants? His mother was a giant. What's his connection there? Okay, who is Loki? Why did the giants call him Loki? What is Loki about? Is Loki a name? Is Loki a thing? He doesn't know, and he's determined to find out why the giants called him Loki. So he'll do anything to get the answers. So Atreus battles within himself. Should I listen to my father? Should I not? And I'm gonna say this now. I was gonna save it for a little later in this segment, but I'm gonna say it now. Atreus has the Anakin Skywalker vibe. Now, how do you relate Atreus to Anakin Skywalker? Everyone knows who Anakin Skywalker is. He's Darth Vader, falls to the dark side, and you know the story of Star Wars. Best story ever told, by the way. I could directly relate Atreus to Anakin Skywalker. He might not end up like Anakin Skywalker. Might not end up like him, but he has the same qualities as Anakin Skywalker. He's defiant toward his father, his mentor, just like Anakin Skywalker was, because Anakin Skywalker wanted to kind of find out who he is and what he's about. And then, in the same breath, when Anakin Skywalker, another dynamic character, found out you know, when he had that vision about the death of his wife and that led him to join the dark side, is there some kind of event that's going to lead Atreus astray, so to speak, that we haven't come up to yet in the beginning of the game? He has the same qualities as Anakin Skywalker. He's defiant. He's rebellious. He defies authority. The dark side I sense in you, boy. So, we don't know how the story is going to unfold for Atreus yet. But just as much as this story is about Kratos, it's just as much about Atreus, if not even more so about Atreus. Because we don't know where he's going to end up. Is his anger going to get the better of him? Is he going to become uncontrollable? Does he end up killing his father? Let me know what you think in the comments below. You think he kills his father at the end? You think he has to kill his father at the end for some reason? Does he have to make that choice? Does he fall to the dark side? We don't know. But it leads us to believe that there is some kind of darkness in Atreus. And Kratos knows it's there and it needs to be controlled. Atreus, being focused on finding out who he is, clouds his judgment. The boy's future is unclear.
Scared about your future.
That cannot be my future. It says I serve Odin and my father dies. There's just no way.
Look, this is the only way things turn out. The sooner you accept that, the better.
That determination to find out who he is clouds his thinking. And that's what Kratos is worried about. And Atreus doesn't care. He just wants to find out who he is, and he'll do whatever he has to get there. And we don't know if that's going to be the fall of who he is as a person. We don't know if it's going to be the physical downfall or fall of his father. But it's very interesting to see Atreus at this point, because he's not a little boy anymore. He is skilled, he is accomplished, he is a warrior, and Kratos trusts him with his life. Whereas in the first game, Kratos kind of looked at him as a liability. Let's be real, calling him boy all day long. He's really calling him Mr. Liability. Okay, I gotta do this, I gotta drag you along because I want to honor your mother, etc. But in this game, he views his son very differently. He has respect for him, but he's afraid for him because he's kind of protecting him from himself. Thanks so much for watching to the end of this video. This video is actually a segment of my God of War Ragnarok characterization part 1 video. Link to that video is in the description below. It can also be found at the end of this one. If you like what you see, please consider liking, subscribing, and leave a comment down below. I'll catch you in the next one.